Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a Halloween lovers apartment, and I guess really it's a family apartment because there is 2 bedrooms and a bathroom in this house. I mean, hopefully there's a bathroom because, you know, your Sims need to be able to use the bathroom, but there's actually a ton of room in this apartment. It took me a little while to figure out what I wanted to do with the layout. So you can see me messing around with it a lot. And I kind of left that in because I feel like people assume that like you might be really good at layouts and like it comes really easy, but honestly, like it's difficult. Like sometimes it's really easy for me and I'm like, oh, I got this. And then other times it's just like, I don't know what I want to do. And so it causes me to have to mess around a little bit with the layout, but I am really happy with the way this actually turned out. I was worried that the main living space was going to be a little bit small, but actually it was very spacious. And I don't know if it's because of that dark floor I have or because of the really tall wall height that they insist on using, I feel like, in all of the apartments in San Myshuno. But like it just felt small to me, but there was actually plenty of room for everything. We got a beautiful dining table, a living room, and kitchen in here, and I think it worked out really well. But I wanted to do Halloween, and I'm not like, I know I've said this before, I'm not a huge Halloween person, but I feel like when I did the paranormal investigator home, like I didn't quite get as Halloween-y as I wanted to, if that makes sense. So I tried again and I think this one just screams Halloween, but I feel like it's like in a nice tasteful way. Like these people just clearly really like it, but it's not like really childish or anything like that. I mean, if that makes sense. And I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go with that like purple that kind of is associated with Halloween or whether I wanted to go like with the orange, but I didn't want it to be this like really like dark, deep, bright color, if that makes sense. Again, I was trying to make it something that's like not hard to look at, but also it's like this is just what the family likes, you know, and this is what they use like year round kind of thing. And when I found the tile for this kitchen, I was so excited. To me, it looks like candy corn. Like the yellow, orange, and white, like it just screamed candy corn to me. And I was like, this is it. Like, I mean, it was like decided I was going to use this. I loved the way that these appliances also had that really nice like lighter sherbety orange color, like, and it wasn't like screaming at you orange. Like I was so excited. And of course, naturally I picked a countertop that doesn't have a top cabinet, so you can see here I'm messing around with several different options of what I wanted to use. So I actually ended up going with the Parenthood like top cabinets for this build because I felt like that orange actually really complemented the oranges that were already in this kitchen, because I didn't want there to be like too many shades of orange going on because I feel like that would be too overwhelming. And like I said, I didn't want it to look like overdone, if that makes sense. Again, something that you could actually live in, like, and it's not just like, I don't know, too much. So I ended up actually going into the spooky stuff pack, and I kid you not, I don't think I've used any of the items from that pack ever. Like I've had it for a long time, but I don't think I have ever used any of the items from it. So I was able to actually explore a bunch of new items, and that's kind of what I love to do. And what I love about like doing themed builds or something that may be a little bit out of your normal like comfort zone is I feel like you end up seeing new items and doing new things that you wouldn't have thought of like otherwise. So here I ended up using those furry chairs. I was so excited. I was like, should I use them? Should I not? And somebody in my Twitch chat was like, yeah, do the furry. And I was like, okay, doing it. We're getting furry chairs. And I felt like it worked out really well. And I feel like this painting choice seems a little random, but honestly, it kind of reminded me of people when they dress up their pets. So like people I know dress up their pets for Halloween, and that's what it gave me. So that is why I chose that piece of artwork, but I thought it looked so cool there. And I actually do end up making it a 4-person dining table because I actually put room for 2 kids in this house. I was originally thinking it was only going to be 1, but once I actually got to the kids' bedroom, it's huge, and I didn't realize it. I'm telling you, I think it's because of the dark floors and the tall walls. I didn't think it was that big of a room. I don't know what it was, but it just felt like like, I don't know, I wasn't expecting it to be that big. And I ended up adding all those string lights to the window. I always forget those are in the game, but those just felt so fun and festive. And maybe it's just because like the neighborhood I live in now, like people actually decorate like they do like for Christmas, like for Halloween, like all the lights, the twinkle lights and the blow ups and everything. And I feel like growing up, like people didn't do that in my neighborhoods, and like my old neighborhood, people didn't do that. But this one, people really go all out. Now, don't get me wrong, I do that for Christmas. Like, an insane amount of decoration. It's really a problem. We just don't have enough storage for all of the Christmas stuff I have. So I don't really do much for Halloween because that's just too much for me to do, like, since they're like back to back, it feels like. But anyways, totally off topic, but I wanted to add those lights in because I just felt like they were so festive. And I felt like, you know, this really came together. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And I don't know, I felt like I wanted, because I also was using some like fall vibes when it came to decorating this apartment. And I felt like I really wanted this really warm and cozy fireplace. And I did change out the floors. I think the dark brown color worked a lot better than like the black and gray that I kept going back and forth between. And I will say the TV does work raised up. I've had instances where it didn't, but when I was playtesting it, it does work. And I ended up adding this like candelabra, and then I found this super cute item. Like, I feel like I used a lot of stuff from Seasons as well, like that had these like fall leaves with candles on it. I mean, it was just like, I had so much fun actually building this. Like, I feel like so inspired when I was doing this, which I was really honestly surprised about. And this rug looked a little bit loud, but I don't know, I think it just worked. It just like, I don't know, it all came together really nicely. And you can see I pulled a bunch of stuff out of this spooky stuff pack because, like I said, I've never used it ever. So I wanted to pull a bunch of items out so I don't forget that they exist because I don't know that they're in the game. And I ended up using this like cobweb wallpaper, but I felt like it was way too much to have all the way around the room. So I just used it as like accents on the two ends of the living space. And I end up actually, so I turned the swatch to where it didn't have the little ghost face on it because I was like, that's a little much. But I think I actually ended up putting it back because I was like, no, actually that's pretty cute. I think I want to keep the little ghost face. So I think is when I was like putting together the chairs and stuff, and then I was experimenting with those, I was like, no, it needs to go back, because I really like the way it turned out. And I put that adorable pumpkin tree behind it. And I actually ended up putting cobwebs in here. Never in my life have I don't think I've ever used cobwebs like in a build. I don't think it's ever happened. So I did use also the portraits that came with the spooky stuff pack. I feel like maybe it's their relatives or something. And I used the pumpkin carving station. I think technically I've put that in a build, but I have never actually used it before. So that was a whole lot of fun when I was taking screenshots. I was able to see what that animation actually looks like. I feel like I just learned so much through my screenshots. And then I feel like this mirrored coffee table just looks so good in here. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like it's a very particular coffee table, if that makes sense. Like, it needs to be, like, it doesn't look good in everything, if that makes sense. And I felt like this living room turned out so cozy, and I ended up doing like an entrance cabinet. So combining some bookshelves, I actually used the ones from the high school pack, and it actually blended so well with that pumpkin carving station. Like, the wood tones just matched perfectly. And so just adding in a little bit of clutter, and I think I end up putting in like a backpack over in the corner as well, because, you know, if there's going to be a kid here, I figured they've got some stuff around, and I figure I would have a black cat like figurine. I did not include the stuff for a cat in this build, but of course you can easily add it if you would like to. And this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you want to download it. My origin ID is spicensprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, if you want to download this. And of course, use it however you want to. Totally doesn't matter to me or hurt my feelings if you change it or anything like that. Or if you're like, oh, I hate this room, this has got to go. Like, do whatever you want with it. And I ended up using this like dark wallpaper from the vampire pack. I actually used several things from the vampire pack because I felt like it kind of went well with that spooky Halloween vibe. I actually used a lot of it in the parents' bedroom because I just felt like I really wanted to use that purple and bring that in there, that really rich regal purple. And then I ended up And this bathroom was so big. I feel like, I don't know what was happening with this build, but it was so big. And so I ended up actually putting laundry in here as well. And of course, if you don't like laundry or want to mess with it, you can easily take that out. Or if you don't have the pack, well, then it just won't turn up when you put down the apartment. So that works out as well. And then I ended up using that really pretty yellow cabinet that I think it was, I remember seeing it when I was doing the kitchen, and I was like, that would be super perfect for this. And having 2 sinks, I felt like would be really nice with like 4 Sims. I guess like technically they're not going to be there probably at once, because if you have a Sim taking a shower using the bathroom, like you're not going to have a bunch of Sims in there, you know what I mean? But anyways, there's space for 2 sinks there. And then I ended up putting like the baskets on the wall and putting a bunch of just like clutter items on top. And I think it ended up looking just super adorable and cute. I used the candle that I use all of the time. I did end up putting it on here as well. I had thought maybe I would put that like crystal there, but I ultimately took it out because I just felt like, I don't know, it didn't work. Like it just didn't look quite right. And I will say when I was working on the bathroom, I found the cutest decal I have ever seen. Like I didn't know it existed. And again, I think that was from Seasons. I had no idea it had such cute swatches. Like, I can't wait for you to see it come up on the screen. Like, let me know if you knew that that item existed, because even somebody in my chat was like, what is that? Like, how did I not know this item was here? Like, it is so cute. It has such cute swatches, like, for every type of season that you might want. It even has a cupcake with a panda in it. I almost just, like, exploded from how excited I was when I saw the swatch with a cupcake with a panda. I mean, like, how cute is that? Like, I had to stop myself from using it because honestly, it didn't really match what I was doing. So yeah, I ended up having to, you know, make sure I didn't do something really crazy and use that instead. And then just putting, honestly, ended up putting a lot of clutter in here because I felt like it, you know, worked really well, like having a bunch of kids and just having a bunch of stuff around. And this was the thing I was talking about, like, what? Like, such cute items. Like, I had no idea that that even existed in the game. Like, I was so excited and thrilled that it actually existed. And in the parents' bedroom, I did end up getting rid of that purple rug because I just didn't feel like it matched. Like, I wanted the parents' bedroom to still be, like, nice and sophisticated because, I don't know, that's just what I wanted. I didn't, like I said, I don't want it to be super kiddie and, like, you know, like gimmicky Halloween. Like, I wanted it to be like these people really lived here. And so I mess around with the the curtains a lot in here, trying to make it work and not make it look really weird. I end up changing the swatch to the black swatch, and I think honestly that helped a lot with how they kind of overlapped with each other, and I think it ended up looking really nice. And I put those like light up tombstones in the corner because I actually felt like they kind of matched, and I wanted it to be this really nice sophisticated room. So I did actually use a lot of stuff from the vampire pack here because, I mean, it just worked well together, right? It all came from the same pack. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense that that would work. And I used these gorgeous mirrored end tables because I felt like, I mean, there was a mirrored table out in the living room. It makes sense to have it here as well. And then I struggled a lot with what lights I wanted to use because I had wanted to have ones that were like hanging from the ceiling, but none of them just felt quite right because the ceilings are so tall in this apartment. And I end up using, I think that's the paranormal pack rug, but I mean, I feel like that kind of goes with Halloween and spooky stuff, so it actually looked really cool. And I ended up adding in, again, the paranormal couch at the end of the bed. I felt like that was super nice, like they can hang out and see out. I actually don't know what the view exactly looks like. It's probably not bad. I think it may look out onto like that square where they have the flea market and everything. I think that's the view from this room, but I could be wrong. And then I added in this vanity with that gorgeous chair from the vampire pack as well, and then just adding a little bit of clutter. And actually when I was taking screenshots, I had one of the kids actually play with makeup. I've never seen that animation before. It was so cute. Oh my gosh. And I am glad that I did it last because it did leave a bunch of makeup on the kid's face. I was wondering about that. I was like, oh, I want to do that. Maybe I should do it last in case it like actually leaves makeup on their face. And it does. And I actually don't know how to get it back off. So I don't know. Let me know let me know down below. My goodness, I'm like tripping over my words today. If you actually know how to get the makeup back off your sim when they play with makeup. But anyways, I again added just like a little like stool over there because I felt like it just needed a little something, a little cozy area over there. And then I wanted to just add a few things here on the end table, several things actually from the paranormal pack. Again, because it just, I mean, it felt pretty appropriate to use that here. So I just added a few things in, and I end up putting a plant over in the corner. I could not help myself. I just felt like something needed to go over there, so a plant was in the corner. And for the kids' room, I was having a bit of a crisis. I didn't know which ghost wallpaper to use, and this is the ghost wallpaper that I mentioned in my paranormal investigator build that I was originally wanting to use and then I forgot about. So I was like, I have to use it. I'm going to use it in the kids' room, but I didn't know which color to use. Like, I loved that pink. Like the pink and like very light blue, like was so cute. And then I had a hard time though with it. I don't know if that's supposed to be black or dark navy, but I don't know. It just felt off. And like I said, this room was so big. Like, I kid you not. And then I thought, well, maybe I could use both. Like, maybe I just use both and so that I'm not like having a crisis. And then I was like, this is like a lot. Like, maybe not. Maybe this isn't working. And then maybe I was like, well, if I change the wall color on the two ends of the room, maybe that will fix my problem. It did not. I ended up just going with the orange because I just couldn't, I don't know, I couldn't make it work. And I feel like the orange kind of matched the rest of the apartment a little bit better, but don't get me wrong, I loved that blue and pink wallpaper so much. And I did start like by actually just having one bed, and then I do end up going back to two because honestly, I wanted this to be a kid's room, not like a teen's room, and it felt weird having a giant bed in a kid's room. Like, it just feels like overkill, like unnecessary. And then I felt like, well, we could still have two kids. But then I was like, I don't know, is it normal for kids to share a bed? Maybe not. I don't know. So I ended up, I did go back to two beds. I did do that because I was just like, I don't know. It just felt kind of off. And then the dresser at the end of the bed is so big. It is so big. That's actually sized down. And I was like, why is this so gigantic? So that's actually in between the two beds when we rearranged things. And then I had a hard time with what rug to use. Like, it was a whole thing. Like, I think this was probably the hardest room in the whole entire build for some reason. Again, maybe it's because I didn't realize the room was this big. It was so big. And so I ended up pulling that decal out again because I was like, I don't want to forget that it exists. And I got to use the really cute ghosts. Like, that swatch is so adorable. And then, listen, I ended up using this like prom backdrop thing from the high school years pack. I loved that so much. I don't know. It just felt so festive and really adorable. Like, you know, the parents put that up and like helped define their little like play space. And I don't know. I really like the idea of it. So definitely not something that I've ever done before, but I think it really worked in this house. Like, I don't know if it would work in every house, but this one, it just felt appropriate. Although, long term, I don't know how well that would work because those balloons, it's not like they're going to last forever. So it's not like real life practical unless they're fake balloons. Is that a thing? Are there such things as fake balloons? I don't even know. But anyways, it's a sim, so we don't have to worry about deflating balloons. That would be so sad, although a little bit funny. So I basically just add a ton of clutter here. I don't know, for kids' rooms, I just always feel like it's just super appropriate to have a bunch of clutter literally everywhere. And I had so much fun picking a family off the gallery for this. Like, I got a family that was literally a Halloween family that was all dressed up and everything. It was so cute. Like, I really enjoyed the screenshots. I enjoyed building this, like, even though I'm not a Halloween person. And of course, I had to include the puking pumpkin in the kids' room. I saw that and I was like, maybe not in the main living area, but maybe in the kids' room. And that's an adorable dollhouse I didn't know existed. Didn't quite fit in here, but I need to remember that for later because I love it so much. It came with that like little campers pack kit thing, whatever it's called. I don't know if I use many items for that actually, to be honest. And I do end up putting the cauldron in the like by the end of that bed, and I've never like used that before, but it does have like a little light thing that happens if you turn it on. So that was kind of fascinating. Again, I learned all kinds of things while doing this build. And then in this main area, I put in just a cabinet and the laundry and a little bit of decoration. And that's actually about it. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I would super appreciate it. And as always, leave comments down below about stuff that you might want want to see. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you are having a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.